Hi, it's me, Chio. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Chio Zoe, and I am the fantasy author of Memory of Stone series with book 1 and 2 currently available. I'm also a writing mentor at Write Mentor Sparks, and I also do one-on-one mentoring. So for today, we'll be discussing on commercial and literary fiction. So we're going to talk about commercial fiction and what literary fiction is and why you should do either of them, what they entail, etc. So what is commercial fiction? Commercial fiction is fiction that is comparatively fast-paced, easy to read, appealing to a wider audience. It's genre-specific, and comparatively again, it is quicker to publish it. Literary fiction, on the other hand, is slow-paced, complex themes, advanced vocabulary, and intellectual ideas. It's not that easy to market it in the same way. It's character-driven, and the endings are either complex or not happy. While these are the general definitions of commercial and literary fiction, I would like to do a comparison between how these two types of fiction are viewed internationally and in Nigeria. They say commercial fiction is easily marketable, but in Nigeria, I'd say literary fiction is what is easily marketable. Nigerians tend to favor literary fiction currently, although the climate might change or might balance out for the two types of fiction. If you check out publishing houses, the manuscripts are usually submitted as those of literary merits. Then we have the writing contest. Most writing contests in Nigeria require you to write based on specific themes, serious themes about political issues, marriage issues, just things that are complex topics that we deal with in the climates and politically, normally in Nigeria or worldwide. You hardly see writing contests in Nigeria that cater to write about this epic story or write about a romance or a fantasy or something funny. It's usually let's focus on these themes. Then there are people that I like to call literary snobs. And I'm not saying if you read literary fiction or prefer literary fiction that you're a literary snob, but I'd say that the writing, publishing, reading industry as a whole has a group of people who do control what is published and what is advertised as what Nigerians read. And a lot of these people tend to look down on people who write other kinds of stories that are just focused on simple or fun or happy endings, stories like that. So these people that say that don't qualify these as books or don't look at these things as books and say I only would publish literary fiction or the only book worth reading is literary fiction, I'll call these people literary snobs. We still do have these same preferences outside Nigeria, internationally, in the UK, America, wherever. You'll find that there are groups that would qualify literary works to be better works than commercial works. But for the fact that they still have the audience, like just people you find day to day who would just want to pick up an easy read, an interesting read, or a good read and just enjoy the reading experience. That is why the commercial still has a very large market and there is a sort of balance there. But Nigeria, the commercial is not balanced there. There's still a general otherness of commercial fiction, so that is why literary in Nigeria is more. Now, Nigeria did not just become a place for literary fiction overnight. There is a history to how literature, how reading, writing is in Nigeria. We have, obviously we have our greats. We have Chinua Achebe, we have Wole Soyinka, we have Chimamanda, and we have Ben Okri. We have so many more people. And these people, their works, even if they do have some simpler messages about love and romance and lyrical messages, there is still a heavy theme of the climate of Nigeria, the climate of the culture, the climate of Black people, things like that. So the greats started writing and publishing in a time where these topics were the most necessary things to talk about in the development of Nigeria, in how Nigerians see ourselves. And once they became established as who these writers that represent Nigeria are, other writers began to imitate their style of writing, and readers started believing that this is the type of writing to read. So that's kind of influenced why literary fiction has become the thing in Nigeria. On the other hand, if you look at books published outside Nigeria, they still have their literary grades. I'm sure you can think of a billion names of literary merits, but they still had their commercial grades at the same time. So from the start, they had the balance of writers who are writing to entertain and writers who are writing to address serious topics. Here, we don't have a specific group of great writers who just write to entertain and nothing more. So we don't have the balance of literary and commercial merits to the audience. But another thing I would like to talk about though with commercial and literary fiction, it's not just like a black and white straight down the middle division. There's nuance to it. Commercial fiction is not just commercial fiction, and literary fiction is not just literary fiction. Over time, history has affected how these types of fiction is viewed. There was a time where Jane Austen was considered a commercial writer, and to some people, we read her works, you still say it's commercial, but over time it became classic and then became looked at as something of literary merit because her writing style influenced how others write. Her view of the time when she was influenced how we view the world now and comparatively. So over time, a work can become literary, go from commercial to literary. There's also what we call upmarket commercial. This is where you're still writing your fun romance, fun fantasy, fun sci-fi, fun whatever, contemporary, but the topics, there are still topics within there that deal with heavy real world issues. So these are called upmarket commercial. They still have literary merit, even though they appeal to a wider audience and are easily digestible by a wider audience. Then in literary fiction, we have what's called genre literary fiction, which as I said earlier, commercial is genre specific, but there are some genres in literary specific topics that you can group under different categories, and when they're written a certain way, can appeal to a commercial audience. So yes, while there's some people that can identify as commercial writers and people that can identify as literary writers, it's not just only that. There's so much more to it. If you are publishing internationally, just idea wise, I'd say commercial fiction is the way to go because you know that you're more likely to reach more people with it. You're more likely to have more people willing to spend money on the book than a work of literary fiction. So if you're publishing outside, if you're not in Nigeria and you're publishing a book, you'll likely succeed more publishing commercial fiction. But there is still the appeal of literary because literary is timeless. It is timeless fiction, and even if the topics focus on the problems in the world as in that time or decade, century, year, whenever it's written, it focuses on that. It is still something that is looked back on and studied for future purposes, future growth of society, things like that, different ways how society has evolved and how we view ourselves and how we view our environment. And literary fiction writers, I think, win more awards. So if you're someone who loves getting awards and going to fun, cool, intellectual places, literary might just be for you. In Nigeria, though, I'll say literary fiction is preferred. It's not by a wide margin in the sense that there is little money to be made in publishing books in Nigeria. Of course, things are changing and things are getting better, but if you're comparing a stable, you're going to get paid monthly or make this amount of money, and you're also comparing with international, Nigerians don't really make profits from writing books in general. So because of both sides are not really making money, so where's the benefit of let's go commercial and appeal to a wider audience when people are generally not buying books? Nigerian writers I've spoken to, not all, but a lot of Nigerian writers I've spoken to wants to go literary. They choose to write literary. And these are people I've spoken to that are older than me, though, people that have been writing way before me, and I've had conversations with them. And why they write literary fiction, I've heard, is because if they have to choose and then their books are not going to sell either ways, why not write literary, become an expert on the subject so that they'll be invited to places where they can talk about these topics. Once you become an expert on a subject, you are allowed, or your voice becomes significant to people. People want to know what you have to say on that thing. So Nigerian writers don't focus on making money from the books, but just establishing that they know well enough on this thing that they can write a book on it, so that they can make money from going to conferences and workshops and talks about these things they wrote about, and that is where they make their money from. It is a thing to do to become an expert on a subject matter and have seminars about the thing, but my personal view on that is that if that's the only reason why you're writing, you should not be writing. Just study and talk. But I guess if that's the only way to go about it, that's why people do it. For me anyways, I would always prefer commercial fiction. I hope more Nigerian commercial writers release their works, get published, because we really do need that. There is the beauty of knowing that there's just so much more to life than the nitty-gritty of the struggle we live in. And when I see people write about adventures, write about growth and success and striving for more through like these simpler to digest books, it just gives a sense of hope, brightness to the world, in my opinion. That is why I'm a commercial writer, and that is why I really think we need more commercial Nigerian writers. But this is my short explanation of what commercial fiction is and what literary fiction is. It's now up to you to know which one you are, what is easier way to write, what you prefer writing, what kind of message you want to pass across with your book. If you want to even pass a message at all, or just want to enjoy writing and having people read your works, it's all up to you, and neither is better than the other. Either way, writing is difficult. Writing is a super difficult thing to do. You spend years of your life dedicated to just one story. So I say don't rush into anyone because you think this one will be a quick means to make money or easier means to make money. Figure out the one that is actually right for you. If you actually enjoy writing, what kind of topics or genres you enjoy writing in, and make your decision from there. Don't let the climate determine what you do, because one thing about climate is it changes. So just to summarize, commercial fiction is easy to read, quick to publish. You have genres like romance, fantasy, sci-fi, thrillers, mysteries. Those are commercial works that works like that, no matter how sad or happy it is. Those fall under commercial. Then literally we have things that talk about the issues at hand, or the situations, even though they're not issues at hand, like family, marriage, religion, politics, nuances of how the environment works, stuff like that. So that is literary fiction, and the other is commercial fiction. So that wraps up my video today. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's been informative, educative to you anyways, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and also share this video with as many people as you can, because I want more writers to see this kind of content, because I'm hoping that the Nigerian industry, writing and publishing industry, gets better. That has been my lifelong dream. So please share this video with as many people as you can, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.